Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. 6:08 Wednesday, July 20th, 69 degrees. We're getting up to 78 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are now joined by Council President in Beechwood, Jerry LaCrosse. Right. Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Good morning. It's the middle of the night.
Are you telling me that you were up partying all night and you haven't slept yet?
Yes, that's exactly it.
Because if you're going to tell me that, then I will acquiesce and I will be okay and say yes, this is the middle of the night. Otherwise, It's the morning.
It's the morning, and it's beautiful. I saw three guys out riding a bicycle this morning before 6 o'clock in the morning.
They were looking for Pokemon, I'm sure. I have no doubt.
I cannot believe that this is the biggest thing in the world
That's
right now.
That's what they do. Downtown Toms River has really started hopping because of Pokemon.
I still don't understand it.
Yeah, it's a long story. I'll explain it to you in the break.
Okay.
Jerry, so I want to kind of first do me a favor. Give me the quick overview. Beechwood. You may have had some experience there. You've been there for a year or two. Give me your thoughts on Beechwood. Give me the Reader's Digest version, your elevator story. How are you selling Beechwood to the rest of the world?
Well, how do you sell Beechwood? Beechwood is considered the second most affordable place to live in the entire state of New Jersey. It is considered one of the healthiest places in the state of New Jersey. So, and we have one of the greatest, we have a great tax rate. We have parks, playgrounds, the whole 9 yards, and we care about our community. The governing body is working constantly to help make people live in Beechwood their lives better. That's all I can say.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been involved as an elected official?
Well, it started well back, I guess, more than 30 years ago when former Mayor Hornage, who was my next-door neighbor, was short a person on the what at that time was called the Board of Adjustment, if you will. And he was walking down the street. I was walking down the street, and he says, "Hi." He says, "Hey, you want to be on the planning board?" And I said, "I have no idea." And he said, "Give it a shot." So I gave it a shot. The next thing you know, I was put on the planning board, and things just moved on from there.
So you never had any? Had you had any thoughts of getting into public service like this when you were, in your youth?
Oh, heavens, no. But however, growing up in Maine, that's where I grew up in Maine, my parents were very much, they were I don't know if you remember Edmund Muskie, but they were friends with Edmund Muskie, who ran for vice president at one time. But anyway, they were involved in politics. And so, I mean, it was part of my early life. And, but, I never had any thoughts about getting involved in it myself. It just happened by happenstance, and the next thing you know, here I am 30-something years later, and I'm still serving the borough of Beechwood.
Now, Edmund Muskie served as Secretary of State under Jimmy Carter, correct? Yeah. So it's funny that you would be inspired by someone from the Carter administration.
I must tell you, I got in a lot of trouble when I was younger because I came home one day.
Peanuts.
I came home one day and I had a I like Ike button on my shirt.
Oh, that wasn't good.
Oh my goodness,
wasn't a good look, huh?
Adley Stevenson was the man back then.
So is it true then? Is it true because the rumor is, and I can't speak to it because I didn't make the conversion. I was already a convert. Maybe because I was born here. But what I hear is when you get south of the Raritan Bridge, there's some kind of, we talk about the magic wand, the pixie dust, the fairy dust, but there's something that overcomes you and turns you into a Republican.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
It happens, and I have no idea. You know what happens? I think people grow up. Yeah. If you'll notice that a lot of our population are people who did live north of the Raritan.
Yes.
And they come down here and they say, why did they move here in the first place if the politics was so odd to them? No, it wasn't the politics. Maybe it might have been the politics. Maybe they said, hey, look, that looks like a nice place to live, and we're going to move down there. And here we are in Ocean County, which is a bastion of republicanism. and but things have changed a little bit. You can see it. You can see it in the air. That people are moving down, and they want to bring their politics with them.
Right.
Which bothers me deeply.
Now, okay. So enough of this politics talk. Let's get to something more important. You know, when I was a wee lad, my
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. My grandmother, one of her favorite breakfasts for me was she would make me scrambled eggs and hot dogs. Like, did you ever have that?
Of course.
Yeah. So I was thinking when I knew that you were coming in this morning, Zach has it on the other side. Actually, we have some scrambled eggs, and I thought I was just going to be able to put my hot dogs in there. But you didn't bring me any hot dogs, did you?
I didn't bring any hot dogs to you.
So tell us the story of why I'm talking about you and hot dogs. Come on.
Oh, my gosh. Well, when I was a young kid, there was a fellow up there. His name was Barney, and he was a character in town. He had a hot dog stand that was a converted milk wagon. Now, imagine a milk wagon that used to be pulled by a horse, that kind of a wagon.
Right.
He took it, he converted it, he put a grill in there, and he used to saute natural casing hot dogs in peanut oil, and along with the onions. And the smell would just travel throughout the small community, and people would be lined up for he only opened 3 days a week.
Right.
And he and my father would go to the racetrack the other 4 days of the week. And but I said to myself, when I grow up and I can do it, I'm going to open up a hot dog stand. Well, I was with AT&T, and it was just before the breakup, or just after the breakup of AT&T. And I was down in Washington, and I said, that's it, I'm quitting. I'm done with this. I can't stand it. I was in marketing. I didn't like it. I had an envelope in my pocket with my resignation. I went in to a 3-martini lunch, and I heard a rumor that they were going to buy out certain levels of management in the communications group. Well, I was in marketing.
Right.
So I go back to the office thinking about this, and I thought, why resign when they could buy me out?
Right.
Put in a transfer to the communications group. A week later, the transfer came through. 2 weeks later, they bought me out.
Nice.
And I built and opened up the little hot dog stand, and I went to Jimmy Johnson. Now, you've heard rumors and stories of Jimmy Johnson, a character to beat all characters. The first thing he asked me was, how do you make them? And I told him how I made them. He said, I got to taste one. I drove to Maine that night just to get the hot dogs that I was going to be using. Drove back the next day, made him up some, took those hot dogs to his wife's little shop, gave him a half hour. He ate them. He said, okay, go ahead and do it. And that was it. Right. That was our arrangement. So I built this thing, and I put it in the shopping center, and there it's been for the last 32 years. It's amazing.
So, but it's in the shopping center now. That's which shopping center is it in?
It's in the Beechwood Plaza, which is actually in Bayville, but it's the Beechwood Plaza. And right now, other than a repair shop, that's it. That's the Beechwood Shopping Plaza.
Wow, it's crazy. That's how. So just to review, never really had any aspirations in politics, but always had aspirations towards hot dogs.
Absolutely.
Jerry LaCrosse, Council President, Beechwood. When we come back, we're going to talk fireworks, right? Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Back after this.
The Sean Hannity Show, this afternoon at 3. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin returns next. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Now, back to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 and WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We are here with Jerry LaCrosse, Council President, Beechwood. Hot dog guy, Jimmy Carter lover. No, we're not going down that road.
Let's not go there.
No. All right. So talk to me now about these fireworks. So we just had, first of all, let's do a quick recap of this year's fireworks. Right. So it was a great show, but it was a race against the clock. So tell me about that.
It was. And normally this doesn't happen because I'm put in charge of the weather.
Right.
This has only happened once before, but we thought we had a window. And because it's so complicated to get the fireworks themselves all set up. You're talking about 1,800 shells that have to be set off, and every one of them have to go off before they can tear the setup down. But so if we can get them off, we will. And if you'll notice that this year, the little bit of rain started just prior to the actual first shot. We moved up the chute about 20 minutes or more in order to do it, and it worked out. I mean, we did, people had some umbrellas, but a lot of people just said the heck with it and just stood there and watched them, because I thought we had a different company this year. We had Garden State put on the program, because that was a whole adventure. The other person had dropped out in like 3 weeks prior to the to the show, and we had to actually find somebody who could put on a program for us of the style that we wanted and the quality that we needed. And we were able to do so. They got it off for us, and it turned out all right, but just a little bit damp.
Yeah, a little bit damp, but got it in, and that's which is a big deal, especially for the kids. I mean, I think once you get to be a little bit older, you're like, yeah, fireworks, But the good news is you didn't have to do what they did, like on what was it, on PBS or on who was it that?
Yes, PBS.
Yes,
it was. Wasn't it in Washington?
Yeah, they spliced last year's fireworks show in, causing a public outrage. You can't really do that when it's live, right? It's hard to do that when people are sitting there.
It's tough. Yes,
you can't just roll a video over the. Okay, so talk to me about what's on the agenda for next year, because the just like with any big event, right? With any huge event. The planning for the next event starts pretty much the day after the last event.
Yes, and actually this time the planning started prior to the last event, because next year we have a confluence of birthdays coming up. Number one, Beechwood is going to be 100 years old.
Wow.
Number two.
She looks good for 100.
She does, actually. And number two, Toms River is going to be 250 years old.
Yeah.
And the Toms River Toms River Area Chamber of Commerce is going to be 100 years old.
Yeah, I think so. Let me just clarify. I think we are in our 100th year at the Greater Toms River Chamber of Commerce. So I think we're like 99.
Okay.
But you know what? Let's be honest. When you get to 99 or 100, what's the difference at that point?
Really,
you're old. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, my mother-in-law is 98 years old. So,
right.
you're
like,
right.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Well, anyway, so next year's program is going to be huge. We're thinking that it's probably going to be the largest single fireworks display in the history of Ocean County, at the very least, and one of the largest in the state of New Jersey. So we've started already with our fundraising because, as everybody should know, the fireworks on the Toms River does not cost the taxpayers a penny. This is all strictly by donation. The program is set up, it's purchased, it's given to the town that sets it off. In this case, it's Beechwood, because they have the bluffs, and we hand them the program, all paid for, all set to go, and they just give us the space in which to do it. So, and it's been going on now for 76 years. It used to be the Volunteer Fire Company way back when, and they would go. I don't know where this magic place was that they went, but they would come back with a few truckloads full of fireworks, set them up, a beer in one hand and a cigar in another, and fire in the hole, and off of fireworks would go. Things changed, though. A lot of things, safety issues and everything else, and costs. And so they came to Mayor Hornage one time and said, "Hey, Mayor, can you help us out with this?" He did not want to put the burden on the taxpayers, so he got together with Mayor Aldrich from Toms River, Mayor Corby from Pine Beach, and Mayor Siddons from Island Heights, and they formed the Fireworks Committee.
Right.
And ever since then, I was part of it at the very beginning, and we have gone out, we've raised money, purchased the program, and given it to Beechwood to go ahead and let them set it off. Next year, we're hoping to have not only a fireworks display coming from the Beechwood side, but we're also hoping to have a barge in the river close to the Toms River side.
Right.
So that we have dueling fireworks, if you will. And it's going to be quite some show.
Very exciting. When we come back, we'll talk about fundraisers and things like that, anything that we have planned for that. And we're also going to give you your magic wand so you can make an impact. That's very exciting for us. You don't even know what I'm talking about. Wake Up with Jeremy Grudden, Jerry LaCrosse, Council President, Beechwood. Back after this.
The news never stops at WOBMAM.com. Get the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBMAM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center, overlooking the Toms River, it's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. 6:33, Wednesday, July 20th, 69 degrees. Got up to 78 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160. Join the conversation. We are joined in studio by Town Council President Jerry LaCrosse from Beechwood. And so we talked about, this is always the way we build something up. We talk about how important it is, how great the event is, how expensive it is.
Yeah.
And then we talk about how we raise money for it. So how do we raise money for it, Jerry?
Well, we beg for it, quite honestly. let's put it bluntly here. No, we have we try to have individuals and companies that will help donate. Will donate some monies. We do have some money coming in that way, and we also ask for individual donations. But this year, because of the size and scope of next year's program, we're actually going to go and have a fundraiser. And we've decided to have a cocktail party, which is going to be something completely new as far as I'm involved here. But I didn't want a regular cocktail party. You know how you go to a cocktail party, you got to put on the suit, and everybody sits around and they look all, Well, this one's going to be different. This one's going to be held at the Beechwood Community Center overlooking the river, and we're going to call it a Bahama Beach cocktail party, meaning that the dress code is going to be island casual, if you will, and we're going to be actually, it's going to be catered by the Bahama Breeze Island Grill. So we're going to have different kinds of foods there, and it's just going to be a very casual affair with some terrific drinks and a lot of fun. And we're going to have a steel band out there.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so
sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. The tickets are $100 a piece. But you got to figure for a cocktail party of that type, then that's not a bad price to pay. And
it's supporting a fantastic cause, which is a real economic driver for the area. We are promising a really big show for next year.
Well, it could be huge.
It could be, yes. Yes, don't forget we have the, and I'll never remember this, we have the 100-year anniversary of Beechwood.
Right.
We have the 250th, I can't remember what it's called, the 250th anniversary.
I tried to look at it.
Do you know what it's called?
No, I don't know.
250th anniversary of Toms River and the 100th year of the Toms River Chamber of Commerce. So there you go. A lot going on there. By the way, the 250th anniversary is also known as the Sester Centennial.
Sester
Centennial.
Okay.
There you go. So just if you could just write that down.
I'll write that down.
All right. So Jerry LaCrosse, Town Council President in Beechwood. It is that time. It is that portion of the show where we give you the magic wand, the pixie dust, the fairy dust, the ability to just wiggle your nose and make something happen, make an impact on the world, do something super special when you've already done so many super special things for the world, especially the world of Beechwood. What are you doing, Council President LaCrosse?
Oh my gosh! So I can twinkle my nose now.
You could, because it's like Bewitched style, like Tabitha from Bewitched. Yeah.
All right. If I had a magic wand and I could do anything with it and have an impact, I would put every children's hospital out of business for lack of patients. That would be it right there. So if I could do that, because I have been to children's hospitals before. And it's an experience that nobody wants to experience. So if I could do that, then I think I would be doing a good thing, not only for me but for the children of this world. So
right.
I'm
agree.
altruistic in that respect.
Listen, having been yesterday at the Children's Specialized Hospital golf outing,
okay.
So there you go. So that, and I really like that because that's one less golf outing I would have to go to. So that'd be really great.
Yeah, but
and just while we're at it, just to quote, I want to quote Melania Trump and her view of the children. She said that she believes the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride. Now, of course, she may have lifted that from a Whitney Houston song in the 80s, but nobody will know for sure.
Well, that was fourscore and how many?
Yes, a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Jerry LaCrosse, listen, you are obviously doing such a good job in Beechwood that you said in the history, in your long, illustrious history of running for public office, you have never run. You've always had adversaries.
Adversaries, every time.
And this is the first time that you will be running unopposed.
You cannot believe the relief that I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
It was an incredible thing to happen after 11 elections.
Right.
I'm finally going to run unopposed.
And you said, I think you said it. Maybe I'm misquoting it, but I think you said something along the lines of, maybe this time my wife will actually vote for me.
Yes, and because I'll have two votes.
Yeah, because she's always had an option in the past.
Now she can't, because if she votes against me or if she writes in somebody, I'll know.
Yes,
I will know.
It'll be clear.
Yes.
It'll be clear. Jerry LaCrosse, thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning. You're certainly an interesting fellow with a long history of service here in Ocean County. And you've done some great things. And listen, keep those hot dogs going, because we need them. They're important.
They are a part of Americana, and I hope I am too. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate being here.
Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin back after this.